Take a look at this. It's a tiny piece of cardboard that sold for millions and millions of dollars. I mean, it's one of the most sought-after collectibles on the entire planet. But its incredible value? It isn't just because it's rare. No, it's all about the legend printed right on it. We are talking about the T26 Honus Wagner baseball card. Its scarcity is, well, it's legendary. Only a handful are even known to exist, which makes it the absolute holy grail for collectors. It's basically a piece of sports mythology you can hold in your hand. So let's get past the insane price tag and the rarity for a second. What really makes this card so special? Well, to understand the legend of the card, we first have to understand the legend of the man pictured on it, Honus Wagner. So, let's do it. Let's meet the man behind the cardboard. His name was Honus Wagner, but pretty much everyone knew him by a much cooler, much more iconic nickname. They called him the Flying Dutchman, which was a nod to his incredible speed and his German heritage. But honestly, it was his performance on the field that made him absolutely unforgettable. He wasn't just a good player, okay? Many people will argue, to this day, that he was the greatest shortstop to ever play the game, period. And here's something that tells you a whole lot about his character. 21. That's how many years he played in the major leagues. And get this, every single one of those seasons was with the same team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, in an era of constant change, he was the literal definition of loyalty. So what made him so great? Well, the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Let's break down the stats that really built his legendary status. Let's start with this number, 8. That's how many National League batting titles Wagner won. To put that into perspective for you, that was a record that stood for decades. It just cemented his place as one of the most dominant hitters of his time. It's incredible. Next up, his career batting average, .328. Now, for anyone who follows baseball, you know that hitting over .300 for just one season is really impressive. To average that over a 21-year career, that is just, it's on another level. But he wasn't just some powerhouse hitter, no way. The Flying Dutchman was also a total menace on the base paths. He stole over 700 bases in his career. That's a testament to his elite speed, his athleticism, and his ridiculously high baseball IQ. You know, it's really easy to focus on his hitting, but his impact was just as huge on defense. He was a pioneer at the shortstop position, completely transforming it with his range and his skill. He was the complete package, what we'd call a true five-tool player today, the whole shebang. So you take all those stats, all that raw talent, it all came together to create a career that wasn't just great, it was immortal. Let's just look at the milestones that sealed his legacy forever. This timeline really puts his career into perspective, right? He was the engine of a Pirates dynasty in the early 1900s, leading them to 4 pennants, and then, the big one, a World Series victory in 1909. And then, the ultimate honor. In 1936, he was part of the very first class ever inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So let's just recap for a second. An 8-time batting champ, a speed demon on the bases, a World Series winner, and a first-ballot Hall of Famer. But, beyond all the stats, he was deeply admired for his sportsmanship. He wasn't just a great player. He was a great ambassador for the game itself. Okay, so now that we've gotten to know the man, let's go back to where we started, that legendary tiny piece of cardboard. Let's finally solve the mystery of its value. And this, right here, is the key to the entire story. Yeah, the card is rare, but why is it so rare? Well, the story goes that Wagner himself demanded that the American Tobacco Company stop making it. He apparently didn't want kids buying tobacco just to get his picture. That decision, right there, that act of principle, that's what created the scarcity, and it's a perfect example of his character. It's the very legacy this quote is talking about. Just look at this comparison. On one side, you have the physical object, a piece of paper that's only rare because of a man's principles. And on the other side, you have that man's legacy, a player who defined an entire era with his incredible talent and his integrity. The object is really just a symbol of the legacy. And there's our answer. The reason the T26 card is so much more than just a collectible is because Honus Wagner was so much more than just a player. It's his incredible story, his dominance, and his character that breathes immortal, untouchable value into a simple card. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. In the world of sports, and maybe even in life, what ultimately creates more lasting value? Is it the raw numbers, the on-field performance? Or is it the story, the character, and the legend that gets built around that performance? Makes you think, doesn't it?